Disclaimer, I do not own any rights to any content, videos, research, music, unless it is of my own creation. Everything is for entertainment and commentary purposes. All information is of my own opinion or are alleged until factual evidence has been presented. Cue the music. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of All Things CC. Here's my take. Today is Saturday and I'm coming to you guys with another episode in regards to the responses and the clapbacks, everything of the Club Shay Shay Monique interview. I have the response from DL Hughley and I have the response to his response from Monique. And I also have a clip of an audio by Steve Harvey and his response on his outlook or his take on the Monique interview and what he thought about this so-called comedian beef or what have you. So we gonna look at and listen to all these things, and of course I'm gonna have commentary after every snippet, every clip, every video, every audio, and just give you guys my unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people don't agree with me. I know a lot of people feel like, my videos or what have you ain't cutting it for them. It's not interesting, and that's quite all right. I'm just doing things the way that I feel the most comfortable doing, and as I go further, I grow more and I learn more, and so things are always going to be changing for me. But that's a whole nother episode or what have you. We gonna stick to what the topic is at hand, and I just hope you guys enjoy these episodes. I really do hope that you guys do subscribe to my channel to help me grow, because the only way that I can get better is if you guys support me and just listen to my stuff and like my videos and everything like that. So support your girl. I've been at the same number of subscribers for a nice little minute now, and I just want to get better. But if I don't see the subscriptions, then it just doesn't motivate me to keep going and to keep going harder and keep getting better. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this episode. So on my last episode, I mentioned that DL Hughley responded to Monique, and he talked about, her features and what have you. So that's pretty much the basis that I gave, and decided that I was going to do a separate video showing the whole clip and everything like that, and really just dive in and talk about the things that he has said. And I found the Monique response to DL Hughley, so we're going to look at that and talk about that as well. And then I want to add a little bit more onto their relationship again, because now that I, re-looked at some things and re-listened to some things, I kind of have a little difference of opinion now. But majority of my thoughts from last video is pretty much the same, but there's just some things that, I did notice that I want to just discuss, what have you. So we'll get to that. So let's go ahead and just get into this response from DL Hughley, y'all. And I'll come back with my commentary.
She's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she said she got off. She called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints, I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't, because I respected her wishes. She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who, as a comedian, talks as much shit about everybody else as she does, she has the temerity to be offended about anything as much shit as you say about people. Then she encouraged everybody, always talk shit about her on video after video, and she encouraged her sweet babies to look at the video and find them. Do that. Do exactly what she says. And you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find any evidence of that, because Monique is a fucking liar. She's lying about that. But what you will find is Monique talking shit about some alleged contract dispute we had. Look at the ticket. It says DL Hughley, then Monique. She knows the story. But what she did in response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife. This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was molested, and Monique brought that shit out and told the world that I allowed my daughter to be raped in front of me. The lying motherfucker. She knows she was lying. And it only stopped when everybody from my family checked her. It's interesting. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? You won't ever see her with her family, videos with her children or grandchildren, because nobody fucks with me. How do you have sweet babies when your own babies don't fuck with you? How do you love us for real when there's no evidence?
Okay, you guys. So you guys have seen some of the video from DL Hughley's response to Monique's claims on the Club Say Shay interview. And I just want to say a couple of things. I still don't understand, DL, what her body features have to do with anything that's going on right now. Like I said, I feel like that is easy for anybody to do when they can't come up with nothing else. Insult the person, how they look, and just body shame. That's the easiest thing for somebody to do when they really don't have nothing concrete. And not only that, he goes on to say that Monique brought out the sexual abuse claims of his daughter, saying that he allowed it to happen, so on and so forth, whatever. First of all, Monique did not bring up your daughter's trauma. You brought up your daughter's trauma first. Now, you brought up that trauma. Yes, I appreciate the fact that you brought it up to clear the air, to, let people know that you as a father, you made mistakes, you made bad judgments and everything like that. But even with that, you could have kept that private yourself. It did not have to be aired for the world to know, DL. You can't solely put that on Monique. Now, as I've stated before, and I'm sticking to it, Monique should not have used that as a weapon because she was beefing and going back and forth with DL. She should have left that alone, since she says that family is off limits. So, yeah, like, he's making it seem like she found out this information and she just put it out to the world as if he didn't do it first. Like, take accountability for that, DL. Like, for real. He also mentioned about her family. And I'm not gonna lie, he also said more in this video, but of course I didn't play it. But he also said more in this video, and I'm not gonna lie, he had some valid points. Because how is one instance everybody's your sweet babies, but your own son doesn't have a relationship with you? How do you say that, you love us for real, but your family is not whole? Like, you still got some things that you need to do behind closed doors to get your family together. So, like, he hit on some points there. because I've always wondered about her children and what's going on. Like, I never thought that her oldest son had an issue with her because she wasn't never really there growing up. So it's a sad thing when your child is estranged from you, when you sitting there trying to provide and make sure that, you know what I'm saying, you provide for your child. But she explained that. So yeah, it's just still, I don't know, y'all. It's about to get messy all over again. All over again. Because of this Club Shay Shay interview. Now, I found the Monique response, and I'm going to play the video here, and then I'm going to come back with my commentary on what she said.
That's first and foremost our brother, DL Hughley. And we are firm believers on what is right and what is wrong. Yes. So we got to start off by saying there was an inaccuracy as it regards Monique saying that there was a cease and desist that was given to DL to shut it down. Mm-hmm. What had taken place, to be accurate, was after Monique spoke to Brother DL on that conversation, Brother DL said, what?
Well, after we spoke on that conversation, when we hung up that phone, the last thing he said was, it is what it is. And I said, DL, then we're going to have to get our attorney involved. That's the last thing me and DL Hughley said on that conversation.
And after having that conversation with Monique, we went and got our attorney involved, Attorney Anderson. At the time, there were some emails that were transferred back and forth between his side and our side, and it escalated to a point when we had our attorney on the email, whereby then finally DL said that he would scratch the interview.
Yes.
So it was inaccurate that a cease and desist had to be given. However, that was the next step, and that's what Monique remembered, because when I discussed it with her, we said that would be the next step. But to DL's credit, at that moment, when it had escalated, that's when he decided to shut it down. However, that is a bit different from how it seemed to have been communicated, whereby on the phone, they were having a conversation and it was kumbaya. Though he never used those words, kumbaya, it did not end with her being under the impression that this was going to be resolved and shut down. So we wanted to make that clear out of love and respect for Brother DL. And despite all the comments,
when I watched DL say, she went after my wife, she went after my daughters, I want to really be clear who I went after so that there's no confusion here. When I was on stage, when I'm on stage and we are performers, we are performing to the audience in front of us. When I was on that stage and I said it must be hard to perform oral sex,
but differently,
okay, on a coward, that had nothing to do with Mrs. Hughley. That insult was directed straight to you, DL. That had nothing to do with your wife. That was straight to you. So to the baby that you did a post about, you did an interview about, I didn't do that interview. I simply reposted what you said. So when you say, Monique, you went after my daughter, that's untrue, DL. I posted what you said. And then when you said when you were really going for it with your shades on, and you said, Monique said, I stood by and watched my daughter be raped. DL Hughley, that's your conscience talking to you, brother. Us saying to your daughter and to the other daughters out there, I know what it's like for your daddy to know you've been touched and he not protect you, because my daddy did the same thing. That's what that whole point was. But I was showing why I would call you a coward, brother. Going off, and you said, what did he say? She was so offended by the game we play, but you didn't say what the offense was. And that's the part for me that is disheartening, that you continue to try to trick and smoke and mirror our people. If you're gonna say it all the way through. When you say family is sacred, you are absolutely right, baby. You're right. But when you say would my husband rather, and you co-sign your team of people doing that, well, isn't my husband sacred? So you gotta be careful in your words, because the very words you use, DL, they're gonna come back, and they're coming back to bite you, baby. And what I also said on Club Shay Shay, when I looked in that camera, I said, DL, I love you, brother. And I don't know if you didn't hear that part, but we really do. We love you, brother. And if ever you get courageous enough to want to have a conversation, we're always open to it, because doing that, it shows how our community can get better. When you're wrong, as we have said to you, hey brother, we apologize on that one.
Yeah, incorrect on the cease and desist. And I want to add one more thing. When you spoke in reference to your daughter being a reason why Monique stopped speaking about it, what you don't even understand, out of love for you, see, you can have a problem with your brother, but you're not going to take it out on the kids. And we respected the fact that she tried to defend you, but we got 3 big ass sons. That if we were to think about it in the same way that she thought about it, what would that be? But out of love for you, we're not going to go after your child trying to protect the father that she loves. But one could argue, based upon what you said about yourself, had you exhibited the same type of love and protection for your other daughter that your other daughter tried to exhibit towards you, there never would have been the commentary that you made about yourself. Monique is not love and this and the other. That's your perception, but what I'll say is it is due to the love that we have that we're able to love those that say things that could be construed as hurtful, but we understand that the old saying of hurt people hurt people. So we don't take what you say personally, brother. And again, it's nothing but love, in addition to the fact I'm Q-Sci-Fi. Just like you, except I've been in about 29 going on 30 years. I'm not going to argue with you, frat. Ain't nothing but love. So we wanted to extend that to you and let you know what it is. And again, if you ever want to speak, let's have a real conversation.
Whoo, child, y'all. That was a nice little video right there. Yeah, so they cleared up the thing. See, I didn't even catch it when Monique said on Club Shay Shay that there was a cease and desist. I must have missed that part, so I didn't even catch that. So the fact that DL mentioned it and then they responded to correct that, kudos to them. And see, this is what I like about them. They are not afraid to admit when they're wrong or they made a mistake or what have you. Like, they're gonna come out and they're gonna speak on it, And I also agree with Monique. Like I said, DL, you brought that situation with your daughter to the forefront. She just reiterated what you already put out there for the world to know and to see, because in a sense, you were really, if you didn't realize it, you were really, how can I say it? You were really showing the world the type of man that you were. Your character. Like, I don't know. It was just, I didn't like how he tried to spin the narrative that Monique was just so wrong for talking about, his daughter as if he didn't put the ammunition out there. Okay, now let me say this real quick about, their relationship or what have you. Like I said, I went back and looked at a couple of things and everything like that, like old videos and stuff like that. It does tend to seem like her husband does majority of her talking. And At a lot of times, you can't tell if it's the husband talking or if it's the manager talking. And I think that's something that I really don't care for too much. Now that I'm actually seeing it, like, I really want her to do majority of the talking because this is her brand. This is her name. She started this before you came into the picture, even though you've been in the background. But this is her brand. She should do majority of the talking, and then you jump in when she gives you the okay to jump in, because as a manager, you assist her. So I can understand and see where people are coming from when they are saying, why is he always talking and all that? Because yeah, we want to hear from Monique because this is her story. This is her brand. So, I don't think it will matter to me as much unless I actually knew who was actually doing the talking. Is it the husband or is it the manager? And that's where the confusion is coming in at for a lot of people. But, at the end of the day, they gonna do what works for them. And that's all I gotta say about it. This situation is probably gonna, continue on for a couple of more weeks or what have you. Because everybody wants to clear their name, or everybody wants to call everybody out. So we might hear more responses, going back and forth in the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. But I know eventually this Monique situation is going to eventually die down. It's not going to last as long as Cat Williams last. Like, his shit lasted damn near the whole month of January. I don't think this is going to be the same result with Monique. I've been giving it like another week or two, and then it's gonna dwindle down. Let's see what else. So they did respond to the fact that he told her that she's not loved and everything like that, and they just pretty much laughed in his face like, you have no idea, like, it's love all around here. That's why we're able to do what we do, because we got each other's back. But like I said, DL did hit on some points about your children and everything like that, but I also understand that sometimes families grow apart. Sometimes things are just too hard to mend for some people. So you really can't question why family members are not speaking with family members, because there are some things that just transpire that may not be something that a person can come back from, that they can't forgive. That stuff happens over the course of time, but when he said it, it hit when he said it, but yeah, I'm not going to touch too much on her family dynamics because I don't know her family dynamics besides what she has said. But I do hope and pray that one day that her son actually can forgive her and they can actually have that mother-daughter relationship, get that bond back, or whatever bond that they did have. They need to bring that back. So that's all I care about on that. And the twins, I hope that they continue to have a solid relationship with their mother. That's all I care about. Brothers, siblings, whatever. I don't care about that. So yeah, that live or that response from them to DL, I like how they just literally just took everything that he said and dissected it and gave a response for everything without feeling angry or any of that. They just sat down and they spoke. As to DL, he was upset, he was angry, mad, and it showed that what they said, what she said, still gets up under his skin to this day. Okay, I wish that they at some point in time can rectify these issues That way we can get back to comedy and comedians having fun with each other and comedy being like it used to be. Because all these beefs and back and forths, it's just taking the fun away in a sense of the comedy. It is, for me personally. I can't speak for nobody else. Now, also at the end of Monique and her husband's live, Monique made a response, or she made a announcement. She made an announcement that she will be joining Cat Williams and Torrei Hart on tour. Okay? On tour. Now, with this being said, after all this stuff that transpired, one would think that was this all planned because she knew she had a gig with Cat Williams all along. Was this to get the people riled up all over again because she's going on tour and she need people to come out and listen to her and support her and all those things? Now, things is starting to wonder, because I think it's that's not even a word. I think it's a coincidence that now you're going on tour with Cat and Torrei after all of this happened. I don't think that you had talked to Cat Williams prior to that interview. I think it happened immediately after the interview, because otherwise she would have said it during the interview. Or maybe that's why when they asked her, was there anything else that you want to add about what you're doing, she didn't say anything but continue to watch. Continue to watch. So maybe she already did have this in the woodworks. Who knows? But listen, if they come to Detroit, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm gonna cop some tickets and I'm gonna go see. Because I've always wanted to see Cat Williams now. I've always wanted to see Cat Williams. And I always wanted to see Monique too. I don't know too much about Torrei Hart's comedy, what her stand-up is like. I don't know. That would be interesting. But I definitely want to see Cat Williams. Absolutely. So that was that. And I am going to play the audio from Steve Harvey in his response to everything that's going on. And then, of course, I'm going to come back with my commentary, because he just had to put his 2 cents in, baby. Nobody was checking for Steve Harvey since Cat Williams brought him up last month. Now here he is. But listen to this and I'll come back.
Things that's on my mind. My closing remarks are going to be seem a little discombobulated, but I haven't really had time to put it together. It's just some thoughts that I've been having. I want to address what's being labeled as comedy beefs. Y'all, comedy was never designed to be this. Comedy is a great art form. It's always been for the best stand-ups to come into people's lives, homes, theaters, and provide just as hard a laughs as we possibly could. As a stand-up, has always been my only goal. This thing that's going around now about comedy beefs, it's only coming really from a few people. It's really not the overall thing. 85 South ain't beefing with nobody. And those are the youngest comedic giants out there. 85 South ain't beefing with nobody. Them cats come from the hip-hop culture. What you're seeing, man, in these comedy beefs are people who aren't where they used to be, and all of a sudden are using this thing called comedy beefs as a way to get some light shined on them. That's not what comedy is, man. It's just not. I'm going to tell you something. Now, I'm not saying any names, but let me explain something to you. I've been in comedy a long time. In my entire career, was there ever a question about who the headliner was? in my entire career. And on my contract, it said I have been headlining clearly since 1995. I have been headlining since 1995. You know, the Kings, we switched up. Like if we went to Chicago, Bernie was closing. We went to St. Louis, Sayre was closed. We went out to LA, DL closed. Whoever's hometown it was closed. But we always understood that. One night in Baltimore, Chris Tucker's movie had just came out. It was Fridays and something else that had came out. And my contract said I was a headliner in Baltimore. We got there, me and Chris was sitting up laughing. And the little new promoter, little boy, had some money he ain't had no business having. He came in there and said, hey, man, I want Chris Tucker to close this show. Chris Tucker had a problem with that. But we talked about it. I said, Chris, he the dude, he wanted that. I told the judge, look, man, as long as you pay me my money, I don't care who close. Chris Tucker came to me and asked me, hey, man, just do me one favor, man. If you're going to go up first and he got me closing, could you just keep it to 30 minutes? I did 28 minutes exactly. That was the only time in my career. And in my contract, though, I was the headliner. But this dude decided he liked Chris better. I don't care who it is. That was the only dispute. Look, man, it's known beforehand in the tickets, in the contract. There's no such thing as memos and all like that. You have a contract to sign. And that's who the headliner is. And read the marquee when you get there. When you pull up at the front of the theater on the marquee, it'll tell you that too. It's all simple. So these beefs that people are having, it's always coming from somebody who ain't where they were. That's all I see in this. I just wanted to put that out there, man, for those of you that's not in the business. That's not how this works, man. It's just not how it works. Second thing I want to kind of address is what I see online oftentimes is people talking about that's karma. Every time something bad happened to a person, just for your little blog purposes or sensationalizing, you can't call it karma. Everything that happened in a person's life ain't karma. Sometimes it's just called life. It's just called life, man. And bad things happen to everybody in life. It has nothing to do with karma. It's just like the course of a day. The sun don't shine all day long. There is a period called night. Even a day part has different parts. There's hours in the day. Listen, man. Everything that happens to a person is not karma. And just cause you see something negative happening to a person, it ain't karma. It's called life. If you're grieving over the loss of someone, it ain't cause, there you go, that's karma. No, that's life. A person lose their job, that's life. Hey, hold up. The plant closed. That ain't karma. The plant closed. The plant had 1,000 employees. The plant closed. That ain't karma. That's life. A lot of stuff, y'all, is a test of your faith. There are things that are going to happen to you in your life that is going to prepare you for something else. I've learned in my life, and a minister taught this to me, everything that happens to you is God preparing you for what you ask for. If you ask God for more strength, God gonna put some situations and some trials in front of you that requires you to be strong. If you are asking God for patience, God is gonna put some stuff in your path that makes you have to learn how to wait. That ain't karma. It's life. It's a test of your faith. Stop letting these people fool you with their little sensationalizing acts that every time something happened to a person, they gonna put a story and call it karma. It ain't karma. It's called life. And we all have to experience it. So please, man, be smart about this thing, y'all. And we have got to stop destroying one another. I don't know what it is about us, man, but I'm watching other cultures and it just ain't happening. It ain't just happening. It ain't no white groups battling. It ain't no white comedians battling. It ain't no white superstars going at each other and attacking each other. It ain't no old washed up white acts going after the new acts. It ain't none of that. But we keep filling our timelines with this stuff, man. We have got to do better, y'all. We need to turn around. Hey, man, we need to get back to God. We need to start praying more.
Okay, you guys, so y'all just listened to the very long audio of Steve Harvey giving his opinions and thoughts on the whole Monique interview about DL Hughley and even about Cat Williams and how he wished that people would just get along and get back to the real purpose of comedy and what it's supposed to bring to the people, and stop all the back and forth and things of that nature. Like, I don't really care for Steve Harvey like that, but I'm with a person when they are right. And Steve Harvey, a lot of things that he said, absolutely correct. I even liked how he broke down the whole headliner situation, and how he pretty much said the contract is who the headliner is for, in so many words. Like, it's about the contract, it's not about memos and all those type of things. So with that right there, I feel like he was literally low-key telling DL, memos don't mean nothing. If it's not the contract saying you're the headliner, then you pretty much not the headliner. That's what I took out of that situation right there. So I kind of feel like, he kind of agreed with Monique a little bit, and he kind of disagreed with DL on that, because DL brought out memos and things of that nature. Monique brought out the contract. But, that it is what it is. But I do agree with a lot of things that he has mentioned. They really need to come to grips with all this beef and stuff, and get back to what they love, and get back to making people laugh and making money, and just everybody being on the same page as best as possible, because all this back and forth beef, and it's really, it's not healthy. It's healthy, but it's not healthy, and I don't know. It's just sad all across the board, regardless of how you look at it. Because honestly, no, these elders in the game should not be beefing back and forth. They should not be beefing back and forth. But this is the state that this society is in. Like, it's all about the beef. The beef brings in more views. The beef brings in more streams. The beef brings in more money, because people tend to gravitate to bullshit more. They tend to gravitate to negativity more. They tend to gravitate to people downing people. It's just what it is. This world is crazy like that. So I also agree with him when he said we all need to stop, come together, and we all need to pray more. That's the realest thing that he said out of this whole thing. We all need to pray more. A lot of people is getting away from God and, praying and doing things to help keep them centered and in a positive state of mind. A lot of people are moving away from that. And it's time to get back to that. It's because the more we keep going at it like this, more evil the world is going to become. And then it's going to be too late to try to get a handle on even trying to mend things. I mean, it is like that now, but it's going to be even more of a challenge. And although I like a, good back and forth, I don't like a beef that just drags out. I don't. I like it for the moment, for what it is. And then I move on to something else. So I'm hoping that, things get rectified on all fronts, all angles, for Monique, with Oprah, Tyler, and whoever else. And I hope the same thing for Cat Williams. I want nothing but the best for all these entertainers. Nothing but the best. Because I want them to keep providing me entertainment. But at some point, all this fighting, all this bickering, beefing, that is going to have to cease. It's going to have to cease at some point. I know that's too far-fetched, I know. But one can only hope, right, that it just all cease. And everybody can just be on one accord and just be kumbaya. But, that's not the world that we live in. But I enjoyed listening to what Steve Harvey had to say. Now, I will give him credit on that. when he speaks, a lot of times I do listen to what he say, because he do make sense when he's not out here trying to be funny, because he's just not that for me. But I listen to him when he talks. So it was good that he did come out and say something. But I kind of wish he had just as much to say when Cat Williams brought him up last month. Like, I don't think he went on. This audio was like almost 10 minutes. I don't think that he did a 10-minute response to what Cat Williams said. But that's neither here or there. So you guys, this is my take on the most recent updates on all the responses and everything like that. Now, I'm pretty sure if I know Monique and her husband good enough, they might respond to Steve Harvey. They may respond to Steve Harvey, because it's really in their nature. And honestly, like I said, I feel like now that Monique mentioned that she was going on tour with Cat Williams, I kind of feel like now this was all for PR. This was absolutely all for PR. And, you know, she got people talking and everything like that. She's back on, you know, YouTube and whatever, going live and speaking with the people and getting people engaged. This could be a PR stunt for her. All this stuff. So I don't know, y'all. What y'all think? Do y'all think this is a PR stunt now that she mentioned she's going on tour with Cat Williams? Y'all let me know in the comment section. And if I find out any more updates, I will be doing another video. So y'all stick tuned. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're going to comment, make the comments respectful. Otherwise, you will be blocked. But I do like to hear you guys' opinions and thoughts. And I'll get to your comments as soon as I can. Again, please subscribe to my channel to help me grow. That's going to help me, motivate me more to keep going and to keep pushing and to keep getting better with my videos and my content and things like that. But I need you guys' help. So go ahead and like the video and subscribe. So with that being said, I'll chat it up with you guys on the next episode. Y'all take care. Have a great weekend. Bye.